Neurolastic exercise for balance. Hi, my name is Doug. I've been a physical therapist for 30 years, and I specialize in helping people with balance problems learn to walk again. Welcome to the Neurolastic exercise class for balance. This is a 30-minute class that's going to focus on improving your balance. This class is perfect for anyone who's afraid of falling, who's had a fall, who feels like their walking isn't what it used to be. Most of this class is going to focus on balance and strengthening. To do this class effectively, you'll need two things. You want a sturdy chair or a countertop or something to hold on to in front of you. And for part of the class, you're going to need something to step over. I'm going to use this inflatable disc, but you can use whatever you want. Okay, let's get started. The first exercise is tandem standing. You want to grab the chair and then put your feet in the heel to toe position. That means the heel of one foot touching the toe of the other. Then try to let go of the chair and just try to balance. Try to balance as long as you can with your heel in the heel to toe position. Now, I'm going to switch legs. If you're at home, if you're having trouble with this, or if you found that you only could do a few seconds, just do it for as long as you can. What's important is that you, over time, increase the amount of time that you stand in this position. That improves your balance. This whole program is based on the concept of balance challenge. When you look at the research on balance, on fall prevention, on improving people's walking, balance challenge activities are more effective than strengthening at improving balance. So this exercise does just that. Because my feet are close together, have a close space of support, it's harder for me to balance with my feet closer together. Now, if you're having trouble, if you really can't do it, then spread your feet apart a little bit. You can put 2 inches between each foot, or you can even bring your feet further out to the side. Some people, doing this is going to be a big challenge, while others, this is fairly easy. Everyone's at a different level. This is really just the first exercise. It's kind of our warm-up exercise, and it'll prepare you for the other exercises. That's why we're doing it. Now, for all of the balance exercises I'm going to do today, we're going to try to do those all for 2 minutes, and then all the strengthening exercises we're going to try to do for 1 minute. And you notice I keep shifting back and forth from my right leg to my left leg. If you can do it for 20 seconds in one position, great. And if not, just do it for as long as you can. Grab on and switch legs. Okay, we're going to come back to this one later again, but we're going to stop now. Now, the next exercise is called weight shift. Now, to do a weight shift, you want to keep your knees straight, and you're going to shift all your weight over one leg and all your weight over the other leg. All your weight over one leg, and then shift back to the other leg. Now, let me explain why we're doing this exercise. One of the reasons that people shuffle and stumble is because they're not shifting their weight and lifting all of their weight onto one leg. When you walk, if you walk without shuffling, so sort of a normal gait pattern, you have to shift all your weight onto one leg and be able to lift the other leg up off the ground. What we see with seniors or people that are having balance problems is they tend not to lift their leg up off the ground. Instead, they don't fully shift their weight. Now, I'm holding on while I do it. If you're having no trouble with it, you can even let go and do it like this. But you notice either way, I'm fully shifting. I can also put one finger on here and shift. And please notice my pace is kind of slow. I'm trying to, do this for as long as possible because studies have shown that the longer that you practice balance exercises, the more effective they are. So I'm doing this, stretching it out as much as I can by going slowly. And you could even maybe hold it for a second if you want, but you might feel it a little bit in your hip muscles if you do that. Okay. Keep going with it. I'm shifting. Now, if you're starting to get tired, it's fine just to stop and take a break. This is a 30-minute exercise class. And, in 30 years of doing physical therapy and working with clients, most clients, 30 minutes is a long time. Probably too much for some. So it's okay if you want to take some breaks. Okay, I'm going to stop now. And let me just emphasize that point. When you're doing this exercise class, it's really important just to stop whenever you feel very fatigued. It's not a good idea to keep pushing yourself because we don't want you to fall. The best thing to do is just try to do the balance exercises as much as you can with the timers that I'm giving you. But if you get fatigued, it's fine to sit down or at least just stop and take a rest. Okay, let's move on. The third exercise is pillow squats. So you want to get kind of close to your chair. I'm bringing this chair back a little bit so it's right in front of me. Sit down on top of your pillow, and then you're going to bend your hips forward and stand up with your arms crossed on your chest. And then sit back down, okay? So stand up and sit down. Now, if you're having trouble with that, it's fine to put your hands here to stand up and sit down. Now, you might wonder, why do I ask for a pillow underneath you? To do this exercise and build strength in your quads, which is what this exercise does, you have to do it for a number of repetitions. You can't just do 1 or 2 repetitions and expect your muscles to get stronger. So by putting the pillow there, it makes the exercise easier and allows us to do more repetitions, which actually is more effective at building strength. So if you have to push off, that's fine. You could even grab this and kind of pull yourself up. All of that is fine because you're still standing up against gravity. But if you're having no trouble, then I highly recommend that you cross your arms across your chest and do it like this, okay? And we're gonna stop. Okay, now, the next exercise is single leg stand. I'm gonna push my chair in front of me a little bit, and I'm gonna basically shift my weight onto one leg, lifting the other leg off the ground, and then try to let go of the chair. And then I wanna hold that as long as possible. The goal is 20 seconds. But for everyone at home, I'm going to demonstrate probably what's more realistic, which for some people might just be a couple seconds, and then go to the other leg, couple seconds, and shift. But go at your own pace. If you can go for longer, I can certainly stand for 20 seconds. You do that. But if you feel like you're losing your balance, then grab on and shift to the other side. Now, let's talk about why this exercise is helpful. This is also an exercise that helps us practice in a safe environment, shifting our weight fully, which is something that a lot of seniors just lose the ability to do. They kind of stop practicing it, so it becomes very difficult and almost feels strange when they try to do it. But when you walk, if you want to walk without shuffling, you have to be able to do this. You have to be able to stand on one leg. Probably of all balance exercises, this is the most effective balance exercise. Now, I'm fully shifting my weight over my hips and then letting go. If you're having trouble with this, if you do it and then right away you're falling back down, 9 times out of 10, that's happening because you're not shifting your hips over your foot. So I'm making sure that both of my hips are centered over my foot that I'm standing on. And then I'm doing the same thing on the other leg. I'm centering my hips and standing. Okay? Centering my hips and standing. Now, let's move on to the next exercise. We're going to come back to single leg stand again. The next one is really simple. It's a strengthening exercise, and it's called heel raise. We're just going to raise up on both heels and come back down. Raise up and come down. I'm going, fairly high. But even if you just get your heels off the ground, it's an effective exercise. If you can't get your heels off the ground, just attempting to do that becomes an isometric exercise, and that also can improve your strength. So if you're struggling with this, just know that no matter how you do it, no matter how difficult it is an effective exercise. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next exercise, which is our side stepping over. Now I'm going to have to move my chair in front of me just a bit. I'm going to use my cushion, putting it on the ground. Putting it on the ground. And I'm just using that to have something to step over. So now I'm holding on here, and I'm going to step over with one leg and the other leg. Now you could use a towel. You could use a piece of tape. You don't even have to use anything. You can just pretend to step over something. It doesn't really matter. Although, when you use an object like this, it kind of forces you to take a bigger step. I'm taking a bigger step right now. Now, I'm holding on, but I could hold on with one hand. Or if this exercise was really easy for me, hold on with nothing. This is a very, very effective way to improve your balance and help you resist falls. Because if you practice this and you're out and about in the community and you have to step over something, and you practice this in this exercise class a few hundred times, it's going to be a lot easier to do that and not lose your balance. And I think that's what balance challenge, that's why it's so effective, is because you're basically simulating the things that could make you fall, and you're practicing them until they get easier. Okay, I'm going to pick that back up, and now we're going to move on to our next exercise, heel to toe standing. It's also called tandem standing. So I'm going to put my heel in front of my toe, and I'm going to try to let go and balance for as long as I can. Now, if you're asking why are we going back to this one, there needs to be some exercises that we do that work on balance that aren't as strenuous as other ones because we want to get to 30 minutes. This exercise class is really designed based on my experience with working with older people or people with strokes and neurologic injuries. This is the pace that I find works and allows us to get through a full 30 minutes of exercise without stopping. So if you're finding that this is too easy, you can certainly modify it. If you wanted to, instead of doing tandem stand, you could do single leg stand right now. But for most people, I think this is a pretty good pace. All right, so we got about another 45 seconds of this and we're going to move on. So I'm putting one foot in front of the other and trying to let go. And if it's too hard, I could spread my feet apart and then let go. Or spread my feet apart and keep one finger there. What's important with all of these exercises is that you do it at a level that challenges your balance. I have no idea what level everyone is at, and I'm sure there's people watching this that are at all different levels of ability. You want to do this so it challenges you. If you're doing it and it's really easy, you're like, there's no problem, make it harder. If you're doing it and it's really difficult, too difficult, make it easier. As long as you're challenged a little bit, it's an effective way of improving your balance. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to practice backwards walking. So to do backwards walking, you want to face in one direction, and we're just going to take 1, 2, 3 steps, turn facing the chair, and then go 3 steps back. 1, 2, 3 steps back. And then we're going to turn, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3 steps back. And you can hold on or not hold on depending on your level of balance. I can demonstrate it both ways. 1, 2, 3. But I think for most people that I know, they're going to want to put one hand on here while they're doing it. And don't feel bad if you're having to put one hand. It'll get better. If you do this exercise class for a few weeks every day, you'll see a tremendous improvement in your balance, in your stability. And you'll probably be able to do it without holding on, or at least only holding on maybe when you're shifting backwards, maybe not when you're doing the turns. It just takes time. It takes time for balance exercises to effectively improve your balance. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's not something that you do one time and it's better. It always takes a few weeks. And based on my experience, most people, it takes 2 weeks of practicing almost anything a lot before you really see an improvement. And sometimes it takes a lot longer. It just depends on what level you're at and what your disabilities are. But if you have Parkinson's, if you've had a stroke, some type of brain injury, if you've just been falling a lot, these exercises are really designed for you. Okay, just about done. Okay, we finished that one. All right, so now we're gonna do knee flexion. So knee flexion is a strengthening exercise, and it looks just like this. You're gonna bend up, bring this forward a little bit. You're gonna bend your knee up behind you, almost like you're kicking your bottom. And each time you lift your leg, you don't have to pause, but you just want to kind of squeeze it up and then bring it back down. Squeeze it up and bring it back down. Squeeze it up and bring it back down. Squeeze it up and bring it back down. And on all these strengthening exercises, I'm trying to do 1 minute. If I'm off on these times, please forgive me. I'm getting better at doing this exercise class. And I have a timer today to try to help me stay better on track. But the intention is that you do 1 minute of all the strengthening ones and 2 of all the balance ones. Okay, so now we're going to do tandem standing again, because I think this is probably really one of the most effective balance exercises for people to do that's safe. You can do it just with a chair in front of you. And it's something that you can really improve on. I said that already once, but for balance exercises to be effective, it's not about the number of repetitions like with strength exercises. And there's no weight to look at and say, oh, I'm using 30 pounds or 40 pounds. It's really about the challenge and then doing that challenge over and over again. So in this case, I'm standing with a very narrow base of support, and I'm trying to repeatedly balance myself over that small base of support. And doing that really is what gets your balance back again, back to how it was when you were younger. It's fine if you're doing these if you want to hold with just one finger. And you notice there's no weight shift in this. I am staying steady because I got both my feet on the ground. So I don't need to worry about a weight shift. But there are lots of times in life when you need to stand in a tandem stand with a heel-to-toe stance. It happens all the time when you're in the kitchen, in the bathroom. And it's really good to practice it because you can get better at doing it. All right, we've got about 30 seconds left here. It's funny doing this exercise class. I'm not always aware of how long 1 minute or 2 minutes is. Even using the timer, I find that I'm a little bit off. So please forgive me. I think I'll get better at doing the timing. Okay, we're just about done with that. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to doing the weight shift. One more time. Okay, now we're going to do weight shift. So that's stiff leg, lifting up, shifting all the weight over one leg, all the weight over the other leg. It's kind of a funny exercise, this weight shift. It reminds me of something that you do when you're a kid, when you walk on coffee cans and you put a coffee can under your foot and try to walk around as if they're stilts. It feels like that to me. But it's such a good exercise in teaching you to shift your weight. And it's safe because you're holding on while you're doing it. So by holding on, you have more confidence to fully shift your weight. Now, you could also do it without holding. It's a hard exercise when you do it without holding, but it's a really good one at improving your balance. One of the things that makes it challenging when you do it without holding on is, you're balancing on one leg and you're throwing the other leg out into the air. And what that does is it changes where your center of gravity is quite a bit. The leg that's lifting up is kind of pulling you in that direction and pulling you in that direction. So it's just such a great balance challenge, but it's safe because the chair is right in front of you and the other chair, hopefully, is behind you. All right. Another 30 seconds of this, and we're on to our next exercise. And if you need to take a break, this is a good time to do it. You're about 2/3 of the way through our 30-minute class today. Almost done. 10 more seconds, and then we're going to go on to hip flexion. Our next exercise is hip flexion. You're going to grab the chair and just march your legs up and down. Now I'm bringing my legs up by about a 45-degree bend in my hip. You can bring them up higher if you want, if you're real strong. You can bring them up just like this. That's fine too. Try to keep the pacing that I'm on. I'm going, I'm definitely going fairly slowly. Try to stay with my pacing. And we still got about 20 seconds to go. If you're finding that this is difficult, you can take a break right now. And if finding it's easy, raise your legs higher. So this muscle that we're working is the iliopsoas muscle, the hip hiking muscle. And when you're walking, that's the muscle that brings your leg up higher onto a step. So if you ever have trouble getting your foot on a step, practicing this can really help. Okay, so now we're going to go back and we're going to do single leg stands. So this is a little bit harder. So we're going to shift our weight, lift one leg, and then let go. Good. And then we're going to shift our weight, lifting our leg, and let go. It's important to hold the chair or the counter while you're doing the weight shift because you want to fully get in position with your leg up before you let go. Okay. And now the other side. Good. And now we're shift again. All right. We have a little bit more to do on this one. This one and the tandem stand are probably the best two, the most effective two exercises to improve balance. So we really want to try to make sure that we do them long enough. I moved back just now just to get it within the camera, but you can just stay put while you're doing it. Don't have to move around like I am. And again, if you're having trouble doing this, you're probably not fully shifting your weight. You're probably not shifting your weight over the leg that you're standing on. So we definitely want to really practice that. And it takes a couple of minutes to really get these exercises to work for us. Okay, now we're going to move on to a strengthening exercise again, which is pillow squat. We did those in the beginning, and we're going to do that again right now. So you want your chair behind you. I'm going to move my chair over a little bit and sit down, and then we're going to just stand up and sit down. One, stand up and sit down, stand up and sit down. I'm pushing with my hand. I've got one hand here. My other hand's holding my microphone strap because it's moving for some reason. Stand up and sit down. And again, this works your quads, your buttocks, and your hamstrings. It's probably the best strengthening exercise that anyone ever made. And I'm doing it on the pillow so that I can do more repetitions. I want to try to get all the way through these without stopping. Okay. All right. I think we did enough of those. Now the next one we're going to do is backward stepping. And to do backward stepping, I'm going to turn this way and I'm going to walk 1, 2, 3, turn around, and then 1, 2, 3, and turn around. 1, 2, 3, turn around. 1, 2, 3. It's okay to hold on if I feel like I need to hold on. You also can do it without holding on at all and just having the chair there for safety. And we're trying to do all of these for 2 minutes. Again, lifting my feet up. So it is important when you do this exercise to lift your feet off the ground. You don't want to shuffle back like that. You really want to try to lift your foot up each time because that's what'll challenge your balance and that's what'll make this exercise more effective, is the lifting up, practicing walking with your feet off the ground. Even if normally you shuffle, when you're doing it through this exercise, you want to practice it the right way. So lifting, lift, 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 and then turn around and do the same thing back again. Lift, 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 lift. Okay. Lift, 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 lift. We got about 20 seconds left. Lift, 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 lift. Almost done. 10 seconds. One more lap. All right. Okay, now we're done with that one, and we're going to practice again the side step over an object. So I'm putting my object down, I'm getting all to one side of it. I got my one hand on here, and I'm taking a big step over, and then a big step back. And again, you don't have to have an object. You could just practice sidestepping. I have my object just to make it more challenging. But you could certainly, I'm going to push out of the way. You can certainly just do this too. In fact, I think I'll do that this round for people at home that are struggling. But if you feel like you're doing well, then definitely use something to step over. Okay? Keep going, keep lifting up, and you want to take a big step, giving room for your other foot, and then step with the other leg. Okay. Now, next one we're going to try is the knee flexion again. So we're going to grab our chair. I'm going to push this up a little bit. Grab our chair and just bend our leg behind, just trying to clear the other chair that's behind me. There we go. And we're going to do this. You notice that I'm trying to do everything for time, even the exercises. There's been some studies that showed that with older people, with seniors, it's actually better to do exercises slowly for a certain amount of time rather than a certain amount of repetitions. And I know some people might disagree with that, but a lot of studies have showed that that's more effective. That as you get older, your muscles respond better to doing something over time rather than the amount of resistance. That's what actually can make you stronger faster, which is what you want. Okay, so now we did our knee flexion, and last thing we're going to try is our single leg stands again. So we're going to grab the chair, we're going to shift all our weight over one leg, lift our other leg up, and then let go. And I'm trying to do 20 seconds on one leg, but if you're having trouble with it still, that's fine. This is probably going to be one of the hardest exercises that I'm showing you in this exercise class, and it may take you a few weeks to really be able to do this effectively. And it's fine if you want to hold the whole time, the first couple sessions. Just getting used to shifting your weight is something. It really does take time to get better at it. But if you're having no trouble and it's easy, then do it just like this. All on one leg, and then shift over to the other side, all on one leg. And really make your body lean over the leg that you're standing on. I think that's the most important bit of advice on this, is to lean all your weight over the leg that you're standing on, because that's what makes it easy. If you're like this and it's hard, try being like this. It's just going to be a lot easier. Shift and then let go. And then shift and let go. Okay, we've got about another 30 seconds of this exercise. Good. Shift and let go. Or shift with just one finger. Shift over, lift, and then let go. Okay, we're just about wrapping up here. I'm going to sit down for a moment. I really hope you found this exercise class helpful. I encourage anyone who's doing it to try to make it for the whole 30 minutes, but at least just do what you can. Even if you only did half this class, I believe it's very effective. I think it's going to help a lot of people who are having trouble regain their balance for the first time. I hope you found this video helpful. Click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. If you would like more help with your balance, look in the description for a link to a course I created that can help anyone improve their balance at home.